What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki back with another Chris Watts video, and this video was phenomenal. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a Tubi original. I was sent this by a viewer and supporter, and I'm glad that they did because this one was so far better than the one that was done by Netflix and all like the other ones that we've seen, where they pretty much went through every little almost detail of this case, including Nicole Kessinger. Now, if you guys want to take a look at this video, I'm going to post the links in the description for the Suburban Nightmare Chris Watts link for the Tubi original. It's free. Like, you can watch it, which was fantastic. You didn't have to. I think I'm joined. I don't know. I asked me a couple questions and then I was signed in. So I watched it for free, but again, you guys probably can too. Links will be down in the description, but we're going to go over this and how there was a lot of mistakes that I watched in there and things I've never seen before, and we're going to watch it we're going to discuss about it right now with a whole bunch of information and pictures and more, and text messages and more. So with that being said, make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel by hitting the white bar icon down at the bottom right. Hit the bell icon next to it, so I do post videos like this one. You guys will get that little ring notification that Zowoki myself has posted that video. And you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you guys so very much for the continued love and support. We just hit 49,000 subscribers, and I'm so honored to have all of you guys. I don't know what more I can say because I'm so blessed to have all of you guys. We're almost to the halfway mark of 100,000 subscribers. This is our year that we will get to 100K, and it's all because of you guys and the big man upstairs. So don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. Once we get to that 50,000 subscriber, we're going to be doing a Meta Quest 3 virtual reality headset, the first one of 3, and then we'll be doing more giveaways at 75 and 100. And all you have to do on the comments is hit win the give or hashtag win the giveaway. So everybody wants to talk to me when I'm making a video. But if we actually look at the actual website, you guys can see right here, I watched it this morning, but it was a great video. It was an hour and 24 minutes. It was made a couple years ago, but it was fantastic. I'm going to give this a thumbs up and share with you guys. So I'll share down in the description for you guys again. But let's get into start with this. So the biggest thing that really got to me when I watched this was this guy. This Mark Safariak. I can't remember. I'm butchering his last name. Retired FBI profiler. Upon him and other people in this video, and the people that have wrote me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, the people that have done this for a living, they're retired, they see the exact same crap. They see the lies between Chris, they see the lies between Nicole Kessinger, and they're like, why are we doing anything? I really enjoyed watching this guy because he seemed very sincere. Definitely was like, none of this makes sense at all. The big thing that I took from this as well is Chris Watts did state, yes, because I did not hurt these girls. I think this is true. I think he didn't hurt the girls. I think NK did. But we won't know that unless we actually investigated and interrogated Nicole Kessinger properly. He murdered Shanann, which I do believe, for educational purposes only, that Chris did hurt or murder his wife, but the girls you could see were alive when they left the home. They were murdered out at Survey 319. But when I saw that he stated, yes, because I did not hurt these girls, I actually believed him on that because I think that part is because of NK. Again, we don't know for sure because we actually didn't interrogate NK properly. She was never shown anything. Now, another thing that bothered me was when they were going to show the whole body camera footage when it came to Chris showing up for the first time. We've talked about this a little bit before when it came to like the lighter, the cell phone, and apparently the ring as well was inside the car. This guy even said himself, he said, why did Chris go straight to the car? Why? He pulled a few things out but he went straight to the car. If you know your family is gone, why did he go for the car? That's when we are believing, because he drove that car Saturday night with Nicole Kessinger inside said car. So he was making sure that was nothing in there that could have hindered or gave away Nicole Kessinger. That's what I believe. It could be your thoughts too, but the FBI guy, Mark, definitely made it very apparent on that as well. And also looking at what I thought was definitely a little bit peculiar as well was the bed sheets. We obviously know the bed sheets were missing because Chris mentioned that he rolled up Shanann in said blankets and dragged her downstairs. A lot of you guys have been mentioning to me as well, there's no way that she would have been able to be dragged downstairs because of her weight. With pregnancy, we've obviously saw how much she could have weighed being pregnant. He had to have had help. And still to this day, I don't see him going outside carrying anybody through the front doors. People told me to watch it again. I'm watching it. I don't see it. I look at the shadow. You can see a little piddle paddle of children, but you don't see him like holding her. She was a bigger woman at that time because she was pregnant. So nothing for any disrespect to Shanann. She was still beautiful. Pregnant women are definitely beautiful and still in their own way. But Chris, he wanted something skinny, petite, like he was, like his new self was. So the bed sheets were, for me, like another red flag, because these guys on the far right were touching the bed without gloves. The guys downstairs, when they're looking through her purse, when Nicole Atkinson found the purse and saw that her phone was in there, or her medicine was in there, the girl's medicine, and he's touching it without gloves. The man on the left introducing his hands into said purse without gloves. Why are we not using gloves? Again, I'm not a professional. I'm not a police officer. I'm not educated in criminal justice. But aren't you supposed to be wearing gloves? Because you're tampering with evidence. There could be a hair follicle, and you just put it into your hair, or your fingerprint is now on the bottle. Your fingerprints are all over the purse. You shouldn't be touching that purse unless you have gloves. And then if they saw that the bed had no sheets, why are they touching it? That's what I was watching this. I was like, oh my gosh, why are they touching this stuff without gloves? We talked about the gloves before, that they were like running their hands through the carpet, touching things downstairs in the basement without gloves. Like this case, when they first started coming in, and with Chris, I don't think they believed right off the bat. Sorry about that, guys. Everybody wants to call me when I'm doing this right now. So another thing that bothers me is when this individual is coming home, what I've always been taught to and heard of is you always treat everybody as a suspect until proven innocent. So why is the man, you can't really see it, they said, well, is she lying somewhere? Is she okay? Is she, because she was apparently diabetic as well, or on the verge of being diabetic. And Chris Watts goes downstairs in the basement. For what reason? The officer should have followed him to the basement. Wherever Chris Watts went, an officer should have went with at all times until proven innocent, or until proved that he had no association with this murder. Somebody should be with anybody until proven innocent, because the man went straight to the bedroom, or to the basement, which is where he slept. It's just where I thought things happened down there. People have speculated that Nicole Kessinger was staying down there until Shanann got home, because we still know to this day that Nicole Kessinger didn't show up for work in the morning. Her phone pinged in Frederick, Colorado. She had no alibi for being anywhere. So could she have been at the house at that time? Could be very likely. But then again, They go to all these different locations, including the basement, without gloves. Why? And another thing that kind of ticked me off, because we already knew from another interview, is when Chris found out that they were having a third this day, where you see Chris shocked or kind of coming in like, what's going on? And then she pulls up the shirt saying, oops, we did it again. He actually stated he was seeing Nicole that morning, or Kessinger that morning. And he was acting like he was surprised that they were having another child. He literally told her that they should have another child to possibly fix their marriage, which later on, he stated to her, I don't want another one. Well, you should have thought of that before you went hokey pokey and you gave yourself a bout and you gave yourself a son. Nico should be here to this day. Now, when people keep sitting there and saying that, oh my gosh, Shanann was this, Shanann was that, she was such a bad mom, she didn't love Chris, are you kidding me? She constantly posted about Chris. Yes, things could be happening behind closed doors that we don't know about, but she stated this all the time, where Chris didn't do any of this. Today I celebrate you, Chris. You are absolutely the best thing that's ever happened to me. In 2010, the year you were placed in my life when I was at my worst, I was just diagnosed with lupus and fibro, and I felt like the world was crumbling around me. Then I met you. She constantly said that he was the world. Okay, there was some videos that she said she was frustrated. Oh, I gotta do this, and Chris can't help me with this. I've done it. My fiance's done it. I've seen thousands of couples do the exact same stuff, but yet they pinpoint on Shanann and how bad she was, but yet she was the one that was doing this, where she texted Chris, I don't know how you fell out of love with me in 5.5 weeks of, or if it's been going on for a long time, but you don't plan another baby if you're in love. Kids don't deserve a broken family. She is completely 100% right. He wanted another child. He wanted a boy. He got a boy. And then yet, he destroyed and annihilated his family. Now I'm going to show you a clip here that's kind of a very paradox in this, because literally what he says is what he does wrong. So let's take a look. Whoop, audio.
Communication speech. My name is Chris Watts. I'm doing my communication speech for Brenda Armentrout, and welcome to Broomfield, Colorado. About 70 degrees, and it's awesome outside, so welcome. I'm doing my speech on a relationship deterioration and repair, and this is my PowerPoint to help you. Deterioration. The relationship begins to fall apart, crumble, or fail. You have weakening bonds. You get bored of the everyday routine, and you get distractions such as work, hobbies, relationships, no matter how harmless, even at the job. You might meet a new person, and it could strengthen into something else, and could weaken the bond you have with the partner you have. You spend less time with each other, and sometimes you have no time to maintain the relationship. Sometimes in a relationship, you maybe make promises that can turn into a major betrayal, or minor arguments that could turn into things where you can say.
It's so scary, because everything that he's talking about right now, he did in his affair.
Spiteful comments which turn into bigger problems. The first phase of deterioration is interpersonal dissatisfaction, which when you become unhappy with all the everyday interactions with you and your partner. You also begin to view your future with your partner as a negative future. And the second phase is interpersonal deterioration, which you start to grow farther and farther apart. You share less of your free time with each other. You have more awkward silences at dinner, or when you're just out by yourself, you don't talk at all. You disclose less of your feelings, and you show less affection toward each other. When you have good communication, you show more nonverbal communication, which is the majority of the messages we send, like through gestures, facial expressions, eye contact, the tone of your voice. And there's many types of forms of communication these days, and it's the most successful groundwork for relationships.
which he cut
A
off.
few quotes that I've done research on from Elaine Schemberg. All relationships problems stem from poor communication skills, which is very true. And another quote from Schemberg and Sorjan: you can't communicate while you're checking your BlackBerry, watching TV, or flipping through sports section, which is very true. With technology nowadays, you'll be on your iPhone, your BlackBerry, at a restaurant, and you'll see two people at a table, and you'll see both of them on their phones, either Facebook comment, status, or maybe playing a game, and there's no communication at all. Commitment is the degree of commitment affects your relationship. According to Hirofumi, not surprisingly, commitment is especially strong when individuals are satisfied with their relationship and grows weaker as individuals become less satisfied. You have to ask yourself 3 questions when you're in a relationship. Do I have a desire to keep this relationship going? Do I have a moral obligation to stay in this relationship? Or is it a necessity for me to stay in this relationship? According to my research, sometimes a necessity could be children. Sometimes when you have children and your relationship starts to deteriorate, a child could help repair it. All relationships are held together in part by a form of commitment, either based on desire, obligation, or necessity. And when the commitment is strong enough to hold the relationship together, you avoid arguing about minor disagreements and you support one another.
Oh, like you did for
When
Shan?
commitment is weak, the relationship is full of doubt and the relationship deteriorates faster. You have 2 types of deterioration. You have sudden and you have gradual. Sudden would be an example of infidelity. When somebody is not faithful to their partner, the partners realize that the relationship cannot be sustained. Gradual would be if you met somebody at work or a new friendship has occurred and you...
The parody of this is ridiculous. He just did both of them. He did suddenly and gradually.
As it goes on, you see that, okay, maybe this relationship has more potential than the relationship I have with my partner. And that would gradually push the old relationship out and push the new relationship in. Reasons relationships start to fall apart. Sometimes you no longer find your partner attractive, physically or in their personality. When you're in a relationship, you have to show desire, lust towards your partner. Sometimes when you get married, that the lust and the desire kind of falls by the wayside a little bit.
I wonder why he had to make this.
But if you want your relationship to keep going, I would suggest maybe go to a place where you first met, or go bungee jumping, go somewhere that will bring the excitement back.
Like you didn't do with Shan?
You no longer experience closeness, or when your differences become more important than the similarity.
If this man says the last thing that is acceptable is divorce, I'm gonna like pinch myself because I think I'm dreaming.
So you just pick apart your partner, and you don't see anything that you have in common anymore. You just see something he or she does, and it just gets on your nerves, and you just can't let that go. And you feel you might do better with someone else that you've met. You think that you can no longer that your partner is someone that you can't be with. When you feel you are putting more into the relationship than you are getting out. According to Bloomstein and Schwartz, when a relationship breaks up, it's generally the more attractive one that leaves, which I agree with somewhat and then I disagree with.
Because Chanel was more beautiful than
in repair, the stage is not always pursued. Sometimes people, when the relationship starts to dissolve, repair is not an option and they want to get away and start new. When you want to go into repair, you need to analyze what went wrong and consider what ways of solving the problems. You need to consider changing your behavior or perhaps changing your expectations for your partner. And you might also want to evaluate how you could feel in the relationship and if it had ended. One of the first stages of repair you need to recognize, identify the problem. What changes you need to make the relationship better.
Get rid of Nicole.
Avoid words like always and never. If you say this to your partner, it just makes the relationship makes it backtrack.
You did.
You'll never get to the repair stage. You need to take responsibility for your feelings, not blame your partner. And you need to be descriptive when discussing grievances.
Just to throw this out here, I've seen clip bits of this. I haven't watched the whole thing because I wanted to have my first reaction with you guys. Holy crap.
Resolution and conflict resolution. You need to look closely for relational messages that will help clarify motivations and needs. Exchange perspectives and see the situation as your partner does. You need to own your own feelings and thoughts. Use active listening techniques. Listen to your partner. Make sure they feel wanted. Make sure that they know that you're there and not in space somewhere thinking about the baseball game that's coming up or the football game that's coming up, which I sometimes do. Think clearly before saying things you may later forget. Don't just blurt out something. Just think about it. Don't just, if something comes to your mind, then it might be wrong. I do that too. And keep channels of communication open. Always disclose your feelings. Don't keep things bottled up because it will later come back to bite you.
Oh.
Possible solutions. Discuss solutions that
I guarantee solutions in there is not murder.
Both you and your partner win. Don't have a win-lose solution. The win-lose solution, sometimes when somebody loses, you'll have hostility and you'll have resentment. Sometimes they may not show it, but they will be thinking it. You need to affirm each other. Support each other, positive evaluations, positive feelings. Always disclose your feelings, as I said. And cherish the gestures. It's a smile, a wink, a kiss, maybe just a hug, anything at all. Solutions into normal behavior. Say you're sorry. Sometimes it takes a lot to admit that you're.
I bet it's funny that the people that are in it's not funny, but the people that are in there, they know Chris Watts because they watched him present this. They're probably going, I need a new class because the person that taught me this committed murder of his family.
Just to say you're sorry, but it helps. Risk rejection by making the first move. Be willing to change, to adapt, to take a new task and responsibility. And in conclusion, I'd like to say that relationships are hard, but they're worth it in the end. And as the Swedish proverb says, a double joy is a shared joy, and a double sorrow is not a shared sorrow. Thank you.
So, that was pronounced communication, speech, relationship deterioration, and repair from a YouTube channel called Christopher Watts. Somebody stated, I think he should have this turned on 24/7 in his prison sentence. The irony of this video. You're giving relationship advice to us? When he talks about meeting somebody at work, Lord have mercy. Yes, I feel like I'm watching something that he knew what was coming in the future, like time travel. Like, it is ridiculous. Everything he said, this was from 2012. The murders happened in 2018. So 6 years later, so he must have been in his 20s. Child absolutely cannot repair a marriage. A baby will act more like a wedge than a bond if the relationship is at all insecure. The only reason why I'm showing you guys this is because this was the video at the end of the Suburban nightmare of Chris Watts. Again, this came out just not too long ago, 2022, at the end of 2022. And it was very well done. Again, I'll post links down in the description for you guys to take a look at. But when he sits there and says, I didn't hurt these girls, that might be a truth, but it was because of Nicole. The white car situation where he went into the white car for some odd reason, I have no idea. Shanann texted him about the whole, I don't know if you've fallen out of love with me, You promised me this child that we would raise together. She's doing this and so forth. I mean, watching this video will open up a whole nother Pandora's box of being emotion, or open up Pandora's box of emotions that you'll just be like wanting to like reach through the screen and punch this man square right in the nose. They did go into Nicole. They didn't go into Nicole like I thought they might. They did bring her up where Netflix brought her up once or twice. This Suburban Nightmare brought her up like a lot. But why are we not talking about why wasn't she involved? Or why wasn't she looked at? Why did we throw all the evidence away? Why were the police officers not wearing gloves? Why are we making anything when it comes to a documentary on those type of content? Like, it makes no sense. And just reading some of these things, like, see, look, like this guy right here. None of these documentaries talk about the mistress being the big factor, and that is so strange. Why did they look at the evidence? Why did they look at her? Why did they protect her as a victim rather than a suspect? Or people are writing in here, Chris Watts forgot to cover the most critical part about how to avoid murdering your own family. He studied relationships like it was mostly likely studied people. He copied others on how to act. He never did it himself. He was so fixated on the concept of children and how they play a strength in the romantic relationship. Have you noticed that? He gives a version of the same speech to the CBI and the FBI agents during the interrogation. He did. It's really bizarre. I think he viewed children as expendable tools for relationships when he fell out of love with his wife. Like this one says, a part of his prison sentence should be the 24/7 of this video, and my daddy is a hero. I definitely have been thinking about too making a video on why death penalty was thrown out. I definitely would like to look into that, because death penalty did very much highly come up in this case, and I can tell you very much so why it was thrown out. A lot of people want to look at why it wasn't gone to trial, which we know, but some of you guys are just coming on the bandwagon when it comes to this case. You guys didn't even know about this case until myself or the other YouTubers are bringing up this case. We're not going to let this die. We're going to continuously do this until somebody does something that hopefully alters this in a certain way. Yeah, I just watching this video today, the Suburban, what do they call it again? Suburban Nightmare of Chris Watts on Tubi was again phenomenal. But still, why are no documentaries doing anything on Nicole? Somebody pick it up. Do it. What are you gonna do? What's gonna happen? What's to lose? Dive into the deep depth of Nicole Ketzinger. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have seen this Tubi video, or if you guys watch it and then come back and comment your guys' thoughts on that video. I definitely would love to see your guys' thoughts. I know I can't do a reaction on it because it is a licensed video, so I don't want to get in trouble with that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed my partake on the Suburban Nightmare of that Chris Watts, and we'll see you guys in the next video. So please take care, be safe, and as always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys next time.